What's up, everybody? Today we have David, one of our latest success stories here at Launch My Agency. He's crushing it, and I would love for him to, introduce himself. And basically, today, what we're going to do is just go a little bit over David's story, why he started in the space of why he chose digital marketing, and a little bit about his previous experience, and basically why he chose Launch My Agency, and how he's been able to land some of the deals, and how he has a pretty wild pipeline here. And he only started just a few months with us, so without further ado, if you can, David, if you can please introduce yourself, and we'll take it from there.
Well, thank you, Czar. This is Dave Petersen. You got we're here. We're very thankful for Launch My Agency, and I'll go into the reason why that we ended up going with them. And just you need to kind of get a little background on me. I came from a long career in direct marketing in various different medias, everything from call centers to billboards to radio, TV, newspaper. I mean, virtually every medium. And I was well schooled in the laws of marketing, the laws of sales. And I was doing some, I was just kind of winding down some consulting work, and I knew that I wanted to get into the Chat GPT space, and because of my experience, had a lot of experience in voice broadcast. So the conversational AI industry, which was just beginning, I knew was going to be just world beating, and I knew I wanted to get into that space as a marketing agency. Well, it soon, I mean, I became very well versed and very quickly. It's almost daily that this thing advances. So I had to learn that, but I understood that if I was going to provide this service to companies and walk in the door, I had to provide pretty much everything else in the digital services space. And as you just heard me, the things that were missing in my background, the glaring holes in that cheese, were, the social media marketing, and in
Mhm.
particular, your LinkedIn and your Facebook and even Google ads. I've had limited experience in, and so I couldn't feel comfortable in my past. I can't feel comfortable walking into any business and saying I'm an expert. I don't even feel like I don't know anything about something. So, I really was drawn to launch my agency from the simple fact that they were very, very methodical in their process of teaching me everything I didn't know. And then what really set it off is they have a partner network between 𝐃𝐚𝐯 Marketing and their other, past students, that they give you that resource, and that resource then and it's all white labeled if you want it to be, and that gives you, the back end, the experience you don't have, the use cases you don't know what to say, and you can then walk in confidently representing you have the ability as your agency to go in there. So that's what I started in. And was I apprehensive? Yeah. I mean, I totally was apprehensive. I knew I could make it in, we had some really nice allocates in our prior businesses. I knew I could make it if I chose that business. Launch my agency gave me the confidence that I could walk in the door to either past clients or people in my network and or cold. And I've done both, and I've been very successful. We worked with Kyle. I don't know Kyle Pierce. If anybody has him, I mean, they know how great guy he is. But at the end of the day, through that process of learning over the last 4 months, we launched it in April. So then we already knew what our plan was going to be. We did focus on a niche in real estate. Well, that real estate niche, I have somebody that's one of the larger home builder developers in the state where I live, which is in Nebraska. And I went and had several meetings with him, and that ended up, it's going to be 96,000 a year consultancy, or service agreement between all of our services. That
$96,000, guys.
yeah,
$96,000, and you just started what, 4 months ago ish or so?
yeah, and one of my other ones was my chiropractor, and that's it. That's going to be, it's a small account, but a chiropractor. This is a nice little local account, somebody you go to every day. And he said, Dave, you don't even have to say anything, but the one thing he cued in on, as did three other clients that I picked up. I represented myself as an AI marketing agency
Mm. Okay.
because of the things that I'm offering, were AI centric, and everything that that we do, and that you can throw in the digital services that may not have the AI spin, but everybody seemed to understand AI is what I need to get into,
Yeah.
otherwise I'm going to be left behind.
Right.
And they're going to be left behind dramatically because AI is going everywhere. You just heard this week there was a big announcement by Apple. They're calling it Apple in intelligence instead of artificial, but they're going to be putting it into all of their devices. So
Yes.
guess what? AI is everywhere, and as a marketer, the whole world, like say for SEO, has changed.
For sure. That's why you want to infuse AI with your digital marketing agency, right? A lot of
Yeah.
people, when they come to us, sometimes they have an objection in mind. They're like, oh, isn't there a lot of agencies out there? Well, it's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's how you differentiate yourself. And one of the key points David is talking about here is he was able to land that $96,000 deal. And I think he has a lot more, which we're going to get into of like what some of the monetary numbers are for him within like just 4 months of him just basically launching is he's able to position himself as the unique, as more superior, as more irresistible than anyone else out there in the marketplace. And he's able to position him and his brand in that way so that his potential clients are basically attracted to him versus him chasing them down, right? That's the biggest thing, David. If you can actually hit on a little bit of how we helped you specifically with the niche and with the offer part of helping you craft that grand slam irresistible offer, if you can touch a little bit on that, because for
Yeah.
us, that's one of our points where we just kind of stop everything, right? There's other people out there. I mean, you can say competitors. I mean, I don't view anyone as competitors because I don't think anyone does what we do because, they just offer courses and stuff. But what they do really is like, hey, we're going to get you leads. For us, we're like, hold up. We don't care about leads. We care about the right buyers. All we care about is buyers, right? At the end of the day, it's not about just getting leads. I mean, it just sounds cool. But at the end of the day, it's like money in, money out, the least amount of input to get the maximum output, right? So with that being said, the first most important piece is the base of your agency, right? So, David, if you can hit a little bit harder on how we helped you establish that base to be able to help you get that $96,000 deal, that 250K deal, and the other deals that you have.
Okay, yeah, and most definitely when I was working through your course, which is absolutely not, it's extensive, and I went through different modules multiple times, and it really I don't know what you titled Kyle, but he's basically my coach. Every week we were going over, so he knew where I was at, and he kept directing me into the course studies as to where I needed, because I would be honest, and you got to be honest. You cannot expect that this is going to be just turn the page and everything's going to magically happen. We worked it, and he kept making me go through it because he knew where I needed the shoring up, if you will, to be comfortable, and not only in the knowledge base, but then I had my workflows. Some of the things he made me look at sooner than I
Yeah,
might have
sorry,
done
real
it.
quick, David, if I may just interject, just so the people who know who Kyle is. So Kyle used to work for one of the best companies out there when it comes to the high ticket space, right? So he's been through every single piece of how we help you establish your agency, right? So
Mm.
setting, closing, he's pretty a lot of he comes in with a lot of experience. And that's one of the things is like for us, we didn't want to just bring on our team members who are just, maybe who just watched a few videos and they're like, oh, they're going to help people. Like, no, no, no. We bring an experience of like the day to day and they've been in the day to day trenches and they've been in the space for years and years. So for context, for the people watching this video here, whether it's the recording or the live, Kyle is one of our client success managers who's helping David one-on-one. It's unlimited one-on-one, by the way, one-on-one support that we give him throughout his whole journey, right? So he started with basically pretty much nothing about 4 months ago, and now he's at this point. So Kyle has been his point man for everything. But not only Kyle, we bring a big team right behind us, right? So, the developers, the designers, like our whole 8-figure team basically becomes your team. And not only that is personally myself, Christian, the executive team at Launch My Agency as well. We're also involved in that, right? So just for some context for the people watching, when David mentions Kyle, that's who he is.
Yeah, and then you've got some other key people like Gabe who they make you go through the documents that will hone your offer. The timer document is a great one that It gets your mind in the right set of how you're going to position your offer in this space. And whatever you choose to do, I'm hoping you're choosing it with the focus in mind. And I'm telling you what, you're going to get that focus from your Kyle. If it isn't Kyle, whoever you have here in LMA is going to give you that focus that you absolutely need it. Because, like I said, I didn't know. I'm walking in a space I didn't know. Now today, I'm confident walking into anybody or talking to anybody on the phone. We chose real estate as our niche, for example, and we did a LinkedIn uh, campaign, relatively small, but big enough that we ended up getting a brokerage out of Boca Raton, which
There we
was
go.
really nice.
Okay.
And that particular gentleman was one of the top producing real estate brokers in Boca Raton, as he advertised. I mean, you don't know, but that guy there is looking to sign this week on a 5,000 monthly service agreement for us to provide services, not just from the AI standpoint, the AI assistant standpoint, but that guy right
David,
there.
you're just talking about $5,000 deals like it's no problem.
Oh,
Right?
honestly, my background is, you heard me say, it was in the call center.
Ah, okay.
AI assistants in the call center. I've got one. It was so cool. I got one. The first call center I'm going to, which I absolutely, my contact was my friend. I mean, I knew him.
Mm,
I've known him for years.
nice.
So you go in there, and they're going to be using him to replace what I would call minimal customer service agents, and they're replacing it with a AI assistant. And,
Okay.
and so, what does it cost for an employee at $17 an hour full time versus this thing for basically, once it's set up, it's $200 a month. But
Right.
the number that they're replacing them, each one represents like a phone line, kind of
Okay.
like.
So is that like your specific offer is what you're doing? If you can give like a high level overview on your specific offer of what you're just high level, right? So people can understand,
Oh,
well, this is what he
okay.
does.
Well, that is where I'm focusing on my talent. And I've got
Right.
everything behind me as far as it's like 𝐃𝐚𝐯𝐲 marketing or your other providers to do websites and funnel sites, or maybe a SEO optimization campaign, something along those lines where I don't have the experience. The cool thing about that is I walk in and I offer everything. When you go to my website, you see everything that I'm offering, as my clients do. And when I look at it, a lot of what I'm offering, I know doggone well I'll never touch. I know enough about it to manage it as a company, but I know I have quality people behind
Mm,
that you've provided. LMA has given to me that element, not only in learning what it is that we need to do to make, to whether, get involved in the social marketing, but to make a digital agency. They're
mm.
giving you the full, here's your workflows. There it isn't, they don't stop at just the marketing side. They give you the workflows. Make sure you have a price list, make sure you have your offers in place, you make sure you have an elevator pitch, make sure that you're comfortable talking to people once you get them to commit to a Zoom meeting. I mean, it's all these things. They do it. There's so many things that I may have known, but I still made myself a blank slate for their information to come in, because you learn every day. And by golly, this whole course experience set me, and it gave me the confidence. You talked to me in February. Sorry, I'm sorry. It was I did not feel good enough to sell, and we kept working it.
Now, doesn't it feel like a conversation, right? That's the biggest thing. People are like, oh, I don't want to sell, sell, sell. It's like, you don't have to sell. Like, just have a
No.
genuine conversation with
Well,
people,
yeah,
right?
you're exactly right. There's nothing silly about what we do. You don't go in there like a used car salesman, and just start, hawking stuff. You just go in there, be yourself. If you're confident about what you're representing, the other side will
Yeah.
look good.
And the confidence, sorry, David, the confidence you mentioned earlier, where does it come from? It comes from you feeling like you have the best team in the world behind you
Absolutely.
versus, and that's the biggest thing. It's like the reason why we started Launch My Agency is literally we started for ourselves. Like we envision ourselves when we were first starting off in the space. What was the 10% that we needed that was going to move the 90% for us? And that's pretty much what we've given David. And you guys can see some of the results here, right? So that's the reason why we started this thing, is like least amount of, and again, business is all about being smart, right? Least amount of input when it comes to your energy, when it comes to your time, when it comes to your money, when it comes to everything, to get the maximum utilization on the back, right? That's pure business at the end of the day. And when I say business, it doesn't mean only about money, but it's also about the amount of time you're spending, right? Time, location, time freedom, location freedom. All these things also go factor into having the business of our dreams, right? So like that's the vision of what we wanted to build. And it's so beautiful to see, like that was our vision. And now David is like literally living it, one of our top clients. So I just wanted to add that in there. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I mean, but really, thank you, for what you guys have created. And there's so many ways and so many, you might want to call them, I'll call them straight up. There's some scams out there, and but there you are, you just look at the reviews. I mean, you guys are awesome.
I appreciate that very much. Awesome. So what I'm curious if you can talk a little bit about, like, maybe what are some of the things that before joining, like, launch my agency, what are some of the things that kind of maybe went wrong, of what made you choose, like, launch my agency?
Well, gosh, and I'm trying to remember the name of it now. There was another company that I did get. They made all these promises. They even started me through their course study, and I'd already put out a couple $1,000, and literally they just, I don't know what happened, but then I just did the credit card agency. I had to cancel it, and it was really a hassle getting my money back. I did get it because I'm a little tenacious that way, but they didn't come in. They didn't give me access to their learning modules or their platform that they said that was going to provide me all these different leads, if you will, or that would be leads. The way they're going to give them to me would be qualified, where these people wanted something in a given geographic area. And I totally was fleeced by this group,
Mm,
but so I was very cautious.
yeah.
Um,
Just
and
like everybody else, there's so many people probably watching this and they're very cautious, and I, it's good, right? It's your hard-earned money. You don't want to put it in a place where it's like, you want to be sure of, like, where is it going? Am I going to get the returns? Am I going to get the results that I'm trying to get? So completely understand, David. You're not the only one. There's so many people, and even ourselves, like, we're also constantly investing in other masterminds and other programs and other things. And the biggest thing for us is just very similar to kind of like a marriage, right? The partner you select is everything, right? So it's like, let's select wisely. And I completely resonate with you on that for sure.
I mean, so really, it did take me probably a couple months of review. And but I'm trying to forget the young man that gave me what I inquired on. I've obviously responded to one of your ads, and I was of that mindset. And I can't remember the young man's name that saved my life, but he was very knowledgeable. Did not press me at all. Had a reasonable answer for everything I asked. Really, it was so low key, wasn't even sales pitchy at
Yeah,
all.
he was just our partnership director. Yeah, that's we're
He
not
was,
salespeople. Like,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
like, you wanna work with us, cool. If not, no worries. Like,
yeah,
we don't. This is not our main business. Like, we actually run other businesses. That's the biggest differentiating. Like, a
that's
lot of other, I'd say, like, competitors of ours, they have courses, and that's their main thing. Like, for us, it's like we're actually very small, and we choose to be that way because we want to work with the right type of business partners, right? So for us, it's like we select the right business partners for us versus the other way around, because then it's kind of like other people just chase clients, and that's not a fun way to go about things.
well, obviously, it gives people like me that joined you and trusted that get a much more higher likelihood of success and actually better focus on what I'm doing and what I need to have knowledge base and everything else. It's very hand holding until you don't need to be handheld. I mean, it's
Awesome.
really, yeah, it really
Okay,
is.
that
Nice
was
program.
that's beautiful. Appreciate that. um what would you say is kind of like what's next for you here, right? 250K plus deal. I don't even know how much your overall, how many deals you have and stuff. You're crushing it here, multiple six figures. What's kind of like next for you from here? Like, are you, yeah, kind of walk us through what you're thinking here.
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I went into this thinking that I wanted to build a multi-million dollar revenue business and sell it.
Mm,
Which I feel
you
I'm
want to
going to
sell
be
it?
able
Okay.
to do. Well, you got to get where I came from was this AI world, and if you really stay up with the news, just reading newsletters on it, it's moving at almost exponential speed. I mean, what would take years is happening in days. And so that movement, I feel if there's an opportunity to catch here, and it might have a window of 2 years. And I always look at the economic S curves of the inflection point of the event. That event, in my mind, is the OpenAI's release of ChatGPT. Now, everybody doesn't understand how that all works, but basically, that large language model that OpenAI has, everything's building on top of that. These developers are building on it, and that's not going to ever stop. But what is going to be there is there's going to be a shakeout at some point. So to me, I would just as soon get in there, like, if everybody remembers the .com days or
Hmm.
the other ones, but .com's the best one because what happened is people were stupid funding. I mean, they were funding business models that didn't even have any sense because there was such a enthusiasm about it. Well, that isn't what I want to be. I do want to have a quality agency with quality team
Okay.
that I can hand off to somebody, but at the same time, as this is gray, I, I might want to semi-retire, and so I want to build it. Maybe this is like my last baby, and
Mm,
and
wow.
then just kind of. I still want to play. If I don't do this, as a digital agency, I'll be doing something in the e-com space just so that my mind
Yeah,
is
but you're crushing it now, so it's all agency for you,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Awesome. Love it. Awesome. So if you could give like a piece of advice to anyone, who's maybe watching this right now that's contributed to your success, what would it be?
Well, first of all, follow their program. They know and they've lived it, and they're giving you straight up solid advice. And even all the parts that I did know going through there, all the marketing, what there are marketing rules that are constant with every medium, live them. If you don't know them, listen to them, and just stay within those boundaries. You will be successful. The other thing I would tell you is do not worry about you can't sell. Well, just think about the things in life that you can and have sold. If you're married, you sold your spouse on you. If you've gone to if you told somebody that, hey, you like this movie and they went, you sold them on that movie. There's many things, and it really is communication. If you're giving confident communication, and in business, if you're solving a problem or solving something that needs to be handled that the business or whoever can't do or is enhanced by, you it's easy. It's just like giving a referral and just being
Yeah,
knowledgeable. If you're knowledgeable, you're good. So
exactly.
get
So
this course, get knowledgeable, get good. You
exactly.
get
That's the key, right? It's like you
yeah,
have to be that person, but not necessarily do you. It's a matter of your connections or the people or the things that you can bring to the table, which is exactly what David, for example, he's used our team. And that gives him the confidence, that gives his offer that level of authority that he can go out in the market, use our case studies, use all our success and use it
yeah,
as his own. That way he can bring the clients that he wants because at the end of the day, it's our team fulfilling for him. So it gives him that confidence and that factor of like, because I remember, David, like when we first started our business, we didn't know, like all we had was like, few blogs, few YouTube videos. And when we would watch them, so one person, we looked up to a few people in the space. One person would say one thing, the other person would say the complete opposite. Both of them were successful. And me as a user was like, as a, as someone who's like, what do I do? What do I do? Right. You get very confused. And sometimes, like when you're trying to sleep at night, you're like, you can't sleep because you don't have that clarity. Right. That's why it's so important to put ourselves in rooms. Just like actually literally in a week from today, I'll be in Cabo. So like next Thursday, flying out to Cabo. And there's this mastermind called 8 Figure Boardroom. So the same things that we like, the same for example, like David, you invested in Launch My Agency to help you with your business. We also continuously invest in other masterminds and other, other people that we pay, other companies to help us with the next level as well. So this 8-figure boardroom mastermind is $68,000, and we're flying out to Cabo, Mexico for a live event for the same exact reason. Is like, let's put ourselves in rooms where people are a little bit ahead of us. That way we have that confidence that, hey, if we're kind of stuck, we can always leverage them. We can always ask them for help. So that's exactly, we try to do everything that we never ask our clients to do anything that we will not do ourselves, right? So that's something that we really live by. But yeah, David, it's been a pleasure having you here. Any maybe closing thoughts that you may have that you would want to share with our people here?
Yeah, well, I just wish you all the best. Just keep going. Trust that there'll be bad days, but even bad, if you get bad results on some project or something, don't worry. Learn from it, because you learn more from the things you don't get the right results you're looking for than the wins. The wins feel good, but the other ones push you forward. As you're learning, you're going to be much better at whatever you choose to do.
100%. Yeah, love it. And finally, anyone who maybe is like on the fence of potentially investing with us, what would you say to them?
I would say if you're serious about a real live current business opportunity, you are in a huge space here. I mean, that is going to explode. I think you just because there's a transition from the way it's been done to this new world, that digital services are going to be paramount. And you've got the opportunity, just learn it, then launch with knowledge and confidence behind you. Make sure you're confident and you don't talk to somebody without that confidence. And my confidence, again, came from there's a team behind me to do everything that I know I'll ever be asked to perform for a business. And I didn't have it. LMA gave it to me along with the knowledge. They gave me a great team. So I can just only say, just if you just follow it, you will be there.
Amazing. David, that's beautiful. So for everyone who wants to have their own digital marketing agency, very similar to how David, he came in about 4 months ago, and they want something maybe that's done for them. Then go ahead and just book your call down below. We'll put a link up there for you to be able to speak with our partnership director. And again, not a sales call. David himself brought it up. Like it was a lot of value that you get just to see if we can even help, because we actually turned on quite a few people that we can't just partner with. So, if you're interested in us potentially launching that agency for you, from the branding documents, to the website, to the landing page, to running all your marketing for you, to getting those leads, to even closing deals for you, and even fulfilling all your services for you, and have that 8-figure team behind you that's going to give you that confidence to be able to potentially transition out of maybe what you're doing, or just have like a side business, whatever your goals are, we can help you get there by leveraging, a custom game plan that we can help you create. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and book your call down below. There's going to be a link here somewhere. And, David, again, amazing to have you on here, and we very much appreciate your time. I'm sure, a lot of people will get a lot of value from some of the things that you
I
shared.
sure hope so. Be
Yeah, and
well.
David, let's do the live event thing. We'll try to plan it out. We'll try to get you out here to meet us
I
here in
love it.
person, and we'll have the cameras rolling. And yeah, it's gonna be fun times. But really nice to chat with you here, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Take
All
care.
right, take care. Bye bye.